You can't. Stop trying to force your opinion onto others and actually try to understand things from their perspective. Because you can't win an argument. I'm just going to tell you the downright truth. And the truth is that even if you win an argument, guess what? Do you leave the other side of the argument satisfied? Are they really convinced that you are right? If you're just gonna emotionally react to what they say and you're just gonna force your opinion onto them? No, most of the time when you win your argument by expressing how right you are and persuading him, that's not even persuasion, that's just downright forcing your idea onto others. It doesn't really work. The best reaction you might get is, okay, fine, I guess. But do you really think that person's actually persuaded into what you believe in? No. Even if you force your opinion onto others, that's not really winning an argument. And then, of course, if you quote unquote lose an argument, you're the one left unsatisfied, right? But do you really think that the right thing to do is, as I said for the billionth time already, forcing your opinion onto others? Or should you actually listen to what the other person has to say? Trust me, it's a game changer. Just stop trying to be always right. People always want to be correct and they don't have the ego to actually take the mistakes they have made as facts. We often find it hard to accept that, okay, I fucked up. This is a very, very hard sentence to say, especially when you feel like you've been done dirty. Especially when there are many, countless scenarios in which you don't feel like accepting what happened because your ego's too big. Ego is the enemy. I've seen so many videos recently pop off with the title, "You need ego." Ego's not the enemy. Ego is the biggest fucking enemy. Ego either wants you to be in the past, look back at how good you've been, and guess what? It'll either look at the past or the future, thinking how good you'll be in your prime, and it'll want you to stay at that peak. Sounds good, right? Sounds great, But the issue is that when you're not at that peak, your ego's gonna start talking down on you. That's when you start to have those inner conflicts in the back of your mind when your own mind's working against you. Has your own mind ever worked against you? Many times. Probably countless times throughout this very day you're watching this video on. Don't listen to your ego and don't give it as much control, because guess what? Guess what the ego also doesn't want to do? The ego never wants to be wrong. The ego always wants to be correct, and this is the reason as to why you leave most of your arguments like a war. Every single argument you go through looks like a war zone because you are fighting on arguments instead of actually trying to listen what the other person has to say. The art of listening is one of the most difficult to master, because not just arguments. When you look at typical conversations nowadays, you will see this exact same phenomenon happen very often, in which people, instead of actually listening to each other as they speak, they just wait for the other person to stop talking just so that they can just start talking about what they want to talk about. It happens all the time. Go ahead, pause this video right now. Speak to the next person or the closest person next to you. Just have a chat with him. Try to find that trait we've just discussed, because this happens so often. This genuinely happens just so freaking often throughout the day. This is your call to action for this video. This is your little CTA, as smart guys like to call it from YouTube. Just next time you're speaking to somebody, observe. Observe. Just next time you're gonna go on and talk about a story or something, just I'm not cutting out any stutters. I'm the most authentic guy out there, but back to the topic. Next time you're going to be in a conversation like this and you'll be telling a longer story, just observe. See if that person is actually going to ask questions about it, or if he's just going to move on to what he wants to talk about, right? Oftentimes when you share a story, you will notice that people, instead of asking you questions about it, they will say something in the lines of, "Oh yeah, I remember that time when I went through something similar as I did this, and that, and that's how they pace the conversation from here. If you don't know how to fill the silence, that works. That's great. But you can find that very annoying sometimes. And I just felt like making this video, putting this video out there, right? Because I know a lot of people need it. You can't win an argument. You cannot win an argument. This is literally one of the first tips that you get in one of these books. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I believe that this is the most important book on the entirety of self-improvement. Better than The Way of the Spirit, man. Better than Atomic Habits even, dare I say. I believe that this is the first book you should ever read if you're gonna hop on self-improvement, right? But looking at the self-improvement niche nowadays, it's the only good guys out there in the self-improvement niche nowadays. Me. Okay, nah. Okay, that was a joke. Jack Piggott, Shaman Davis, Ali Abraham, if you know who that is. Okay, it's not like there are only these three, right? There are countless of guys out there as well, but I won't lie to you. When I look at modern self-improvement videos, they stink. They stink. When I have to watch another how to make $10,000 a month in 3 months type of videos, I think, the fuck? They're just so dumb, right? And I hope there's at least one person who understands what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't want to waste your time. If you want to talk to me directly whilst hanging around the absolute best community we have on the entire internet, join the Discord server. We have a very active community. Plus, we host weekly calls Sundays, usually in the weekends, right? We're pretty flexible with our timings, but it's usually at the end of the week. And yeah, I'll put up all the links. You can click them if you want to. If you made it to this point of the video, comment the word book. Comment the word book. I've just started doing this trend where at the end of every single video, I tell you what word to comment, and that actually boosts the view count a lot. You'd be surprised. The videos where I actually call out an item to name, they get a shit ton of views. So that's only if you want to help me out. But yeah, I won't waste your time. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and keep working, brother. Take care.